Hi guys, it's Emily from Nobel Novels, and today's video is my video on chronic pain and invisible illnesses. Now I know this is not a booktube video, it's not a booky video, I'm not really going to talk about books, although they have been my therapy, but I wanted to do a video on something that means something to me. Now, I remember on Mental Health-a-thon I did a video on my mental health story, but I wanted to do this partly to tell you obviously my story and explain why sometimes I am the way I am, and mainly to get awareness out there about invisible illnesses. Now, Keir Scrivener is the channel that did the last video I saw on this, and her video was absolutely amazing. I'll link her below. And she basically has she has chronic pain illnesses. She's actually got a condition to do with that. It's not my place to tell you what it is, but I'm sure if you ask her, she'll let you know. But she basically was telling people about her story, and I thought, do you know what? I've got different people that follow me, and I wanted to explain about it, and I wanted to get awareness out there, and I want people to understand what it's like to be the way we are, and that we may seem, a lot of people with chronic illnesses and chronic pain and invisible illnesses, they look like they're fine, they look like they're perfectly able to do everything, and people don't understand when those people can't. And it's really hard to see. Now, when you look at me, apart from when I've got my crutches, you wouldn't see the pain that I'm in. You wouldn't see that I'm blind in one eye and I'm deaf in one ear and I have a head injury. You wouldn't see that. And I don't care about it. It's not something that I advertise. I've spent the last 22 years now fighting against it, trying to hide my disabilities, trying to pretend that I can do everything. And to be honest, I've fought a lot. And I've managed to, I'm not like blowing my own trumpet, but I've managed to do things that I never thought I could. I set myself goals because of these disabilities. I was going to prove people wrong. Originally, I was told I wouldn't be able to do the job I'm currently doing because only having one eye was too difficult to do optical measurements. And I proved them wrong. I thought that only having one ear would be very difficult having two children. And you've seen them. Not really going to talk about them much because of the rules, but I've been able to do that. And I've been able to do, I could play pool, something I never thought I could do. Chris has been really amazing and supportive, showing me my disabilities wouldn't be a problem. We've been together 15 years this year, can you believe it, guys? And he's been my rock. We went into this with him, and I've had problems with men in the past where I've either hidden my disabilities, or they've not understood. But Chris went into this with open eyes. He saw my disabilities, and my mum and my sisters and my dad at the time, they showed him what life was like with me with only one eye. And the hearing thing, well, that wasn't very much known about when we first got together because it took a very long time to get that invisible disability seen. My doctors were not very good at recognising the problems I was having, and Chris fought to get me to have these hearing tests. I need to discover that I had to cut the hearing nerve and the balance nerve in the back of my head when I had with whiplash, when my head went backwards, forwards from the car. So that invisible hearing things. I don't have hearing aids, so you look at my ears, they look normal, and that's the one that doesn't work. It's completely where the hearing nerve got cut. There's no hearing in it. Again, you can with my eyes. If you see my eye going off on one, that's because of the optic nerve got cut in that same car accident. So I can't see anything out. But again, these are invisible. You don't see. I don't have hearing aids, so people can't tell that I can't hear. And some people that have got hearing losses, they don't wear hearing aids. And some people hide those hearing aids with their hair or other ways. So you can't tell they're having problems. And we fight on. We don't moan. Some people do, some people don't. I try not to. Though recently I felt like I've moaned quite a lot. And my poor mum, God, she's put up with so much of me. But again, I want people to be aware that if you look fine, you need to ask people. If people are struggling, ask them. Ask them what's going on. And I know you guys are amazing. I'm not saying you're not, because the support I've had off there. But if we can all share, if we can get this knowledge about invisible, about people that are blind, a lot of people that are blind don't always have, it's not like the old days, we don't wear patches or anything like that, we just get on. My field of vision's limited, so if you're to come up to me on that side, I won't be able to see you, I won't be able to hear you, and I'll jump. But so I think it's looking that these disabilities are not always well seen. some people with dodgy hands, like I've got my hand problem, because then again nerves got damaged, but that one's not, again, that's not obvious, and I don't really go on about that. I've fought it. But people have to fight. These are daily battles that people with invisible disabilities have to fight. And I spent a long time acting like I was normal. Now, the reason why I have the chronic pain issue is not because of my car accident. Everyone, Chris and the kids, sometimes moan about that. They think it's to do with that. But it isn't. The reason why I have this is because I've had 2 DVTs in the same leg. Yes, the first one was down to the car accident. When I had my car accident, I had, obviously, I've got a skin graft on my knee. I showed Charlotte from Books and Bargains this earlier on a video chat, and I'm not going to show you because it's a bit gory, but, and they told me about 4 or 5 years after the accident, the pain I was getting in my knee was down to arthritis. They'd done, like, some things, and I accepted that, and they would give me medication for that. And I live with it. I kind of had it on and off from 4 years after the car accident, so it's been a good 18 years probably of having pain in my knee, and I need to be given medication after medication, none of which worked. The battles I was fighting to get people listening, because I kept saying this wasn't working, and people weren't listening. Then I managed, I got by. Winter times were bad, certain weather sort of upset it, and I just accepted it with arthritis. It was going to get bad, probably need a new knee. You know, you kind of had these diagnoses and you believe the doctors, because, you know, they've told you one thing, you don't double check it, you just get on with it. Then, unfortunately, when I was pregnant with Thomas, I was 20-something weeks, 22 weeks or something. Mum, you'll have to correct me on this number of weeks I was. And something started to go wrong. I started to feel faint. I started to feel bad. I thought it was down to my blood pressure. So the midwives were just checking that. They said I was fine. But I knew something was wrong in my heart. As a mum, it was my second child, I knew this pregnancy was different, and I knew something was wrong. And I was not right. Now, I had weeks of feeling faint, weeks of not feeling right, weeks of not knowing what was going on. And then we had 1 week where I woke up one day and there was a pain in it was either my hip or my knee, and I nearly passed out in the upstairs bathroom. I had a 3-year-old at the time. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I had a 3-year-old at the time, and I had to somehow get her to get my phone and get my mum. I managed to get myself up. I managed to get myself to my mum's, and we got there. We went to the asthma. Luckily, I'd had an asthma clinic appointment that day, I think. No, I think something was going on, and I had my asthma checked, and they said my breathing was right, but to go and see a GP. And I think it was a couple of, so this happened on the Monday, and I thought, I must have spoke to someone and got told to rest, got told to go home and rest after my asthma clinic appointment. Then I had to see the GP on the Wednesday, I think it was. And the Wednesday, my GP looked at me and she thought it was hip dysplasia. It was just hips, because Thomas was, my little dude was a big boy. Then by the Friday, my next one, one of my neighbours, Ivana, she looked at my leg. My leg was swollen from my knee downwards. It was swollen. It was hot. She knew it was a DVT. She tried not to scare me because she knew that was my biggest fear. But she told me to go straight to call the doctor, and the doctor sent me straight to the hospital. They diagnosed a DVT that day, and it was only on the Monday when they got to scan it, because it was Friday, that they diagnosed it. I was scared like beyond belief. I need to be diagnosed on the Friday with the DVT that was wrapped around my knee, up to my hip, and around my hip joint. This has damaged the nerves. This is why I have the chronic pain that I have. It took another 2 years after Thomas was born, a year to 2 years after Thomas was born, to get the diagnosis that it was nerve damage. And only to be told that that damage that I thought was arthritis all those years ago was actually nerve damage in the first place. So it was my second clot that had killed the nerves. They've tried various procedures on me, and I'm now waiting for the next one, which will be a nerve demo. I'll hopefully have a pacemaker attached to my spine if it all works, and that'll send electric currents down my knee. Sorry, my cat's decided to pump Charlie. So that will be what's going to happen. But I then learnt that when I had this diagnosis that I have chronic pain. Sorry, guys. Chronic pain is someone that is in pain for more than 6 to 8 weeks, and it's chronic pain. There are different types of chronic pain. There's what I've got, which is neuropathic, down to nerve damage. There's arthritic. There's health issues with gyno issues. There's fibromyalgia, which is quite well known about. but not well understood. And there is a lot of different illnesses that cause chronic pain. But chronic pain is someone that they look fine, but they will be in pain a lot. I have flares, which are when I get a sharp pain. I have consistent nerve icky pain, and I live with it. I live with pain. It means that I'm permanently in pain normally. Most of the time it's some form of pain. Sometimes I get the flares, which are like electric currents, like electric shocks to my knee. Sometimes I get them like where they're like explosions in the knee. And the medication I'm taking now helps it a bit. It doesn't take it away, but it helps it a bit. And I have battles, and I also have my cat that's being noisy there. But I have battles with chronic pain. But chronic pain is not well known about. People say, why are you doing this? Why are you overdoing it? Why are you doing what you're doing? Don't you rest all the time? Isn't sitting down all the time help? And half the time it doesn't. Yes, I need to rest. I'm finding that I'm napping a lot more now than I've ever napped. For someone like me who's got 2 young children, I'm always on the go. I don't stop. I find it very hard to rest. My books, oh my godsend. My BookTube channel has helped. But something I want you all to know, and I want to shout out about in this video, is if you have chronic pain, ask for support. There are support groups out there. There are support groups on various different social media. I'm not going to be able to name them because I've checked and people are a bit funny with that. But there are support groups out there, and please feel free to actually go out there and get them. It's better to talk. It's better to learn your own body, and you know your body more than anyone else will ever know it. And do you know what? There is one of my best friends, Helen. She said something to me a long time ago when this is all getting worse, and she said, I can't take your pain away, but I will listen, and I will be right by your side. Sorry. And you know what? That's all I want to hear. I know you can't take, and no one can take my pain away, and no one can take any of your pains away. But none of you are alone, and if you're friends with me, I promise I will always be there for you. There is a lovely lady, Kate Howe, on here. She says I can mention her name. She suffers from chronic fatigue syndrome, and she gets tired, and she knows that she has to look after her body. Kirsten, she suffers her own problems, but she still gets on and does things. Charlotte has health issues, and I hope she doesn't mind me talking about that. But there is a community online that you can reach out to. You are never alone. For me, books are my godsend. They make me sit down and rest. They make me, if I do chapters, buddy reads again, break it down into what you can manage. Don't push yourself too far. Some people like colouring in. I used to like it. Right now I'm too into my books to even focus on doing anything else, and I can't sort of sit with my hands even to do that little movement. But there are things you can do. I personally, even with my chronic pain, I like to go for walks. Even with my crutches, whatever position I'm in, the fresh air does me the world of good. But then there are things we each know our bodies to do. I can't tell you what you can and can't say to people with chronic pain. But for me personally, I find it hard when people tell me I'm a fighter. Because do you know what? Right now, I tell you what, the position I'm in at my relapse right now, I don't feel like a fighter. I feel like all I want to do is wrap up in a hole and sleep and wait for this all to get better. The fear of what's going to happen if this procedure doesn't work, my life may have to take a different change. There's a post that I might be putting up either before this comes out or afterwards, and it's about pictures of your life. I had a picture of my life with 2 children. I thought I'd be running around after them. I thought I would have a life where I could be a mum. My career was going to take one route, and only to be told that with this condition, it won't be. I'm changing it. I'm doing other things. I've found other voluntary jobs that I'm finding. My life is taking different routes. And that's okay, and that's something we're all going to learn. Oh, sorry about this again, she's doing it. Is that our lives are going to be different. People with chronic pain and chronic illnesses, they have to change and they have to do things. But what we want all of you guys to do is just be our friends. Just be there. Sometimes you don't want to be told how strong you are, certainly if you don't feel it. Sorry, my cat. And I certainly don't feel it. I know the battles I've got to face in the coming months are going to be tough. I know that my videos might become a little bit more infrequent. Certainly in the coming months, I don't know how I'm going to do with my filming. So you'll get what you get, and I'm sorry, I'm certainly going to be doing a lot more happier videos, my book videos. But there are going to be days where I won't be able to film. I found that for me, filming, I do it once every now and then. I try and batch film, so I've got film bit of films and that are recorded so that I know that I don't have to worry. I pre-film my schedule. I do things like that. By the way, a big fat shout out is to Simone. She's been my friend for a very long time. Simone and Julie are two of my best friends on here. And I want to shout out to you and say thank you, because without you, I couldn't have been where I am now. They've been their own support in their own little ways. Simone has got some medical knowledge and she's given me advice. She's helped me about scheduling. Julie's helped me in other ways. There are certainly, the community on here is absolutely amazing, and I am more lucky than ever. Yes, you all know Charlie, Brooke, my gorgeous sister. She's my rock. I love her more than words can ever explain. She's my best friend in the world. But I've got so many other support out there. And you guys are amazing. And I wanted to shout out for people with what's going on. I'm not telling my story for sympathy. Please don't think that I'm doing this because I want sympathy. I'm doing this because I want awareness out there. I want people to understand that it's not what we look like. That people can look normal and they'll be suffering. Ask people how they are. Shout out to people that you haven't spoken to a while. Has someone gone quiet? Do they need a hug? Do they need love? Do they just need you saying you're not alone? I think, to me, the best thing I've had is to be able to go online, to have my support groups online, to talk to strangers sometimes, because sometimes the people closest to us are the hardest people to talk to. I certainly said that to my mum. I feel like I'm a burden to her half the time, because all I would do at the moment is call her crying or call her with one thing after another. I don't feel like I'm doing the best at any of my jobs at the moment, and I'm struggling. But sometimes it's good to talk to strangers, because you don't feel as guilty, kind of. It's really weird. I don't feel as guilty to talk to my BookTube friends, because it's like we're a community on here, and it's a different kind of support, but it's incredible. It's a family that we all need. And family doesn't have to be your blood. It can be your communities. And if you have any health issues, whether they're invisible, whether they're chronic, whether whatever your life's going to be like, best advice is to talk, because talking is the best therapy you can have. And I am grateful for this channel. It's been a lifesaver for me. It's been my reason to get up some mornings and to put my face on. Sorry, it's not the best face today. I don't feel particularly great. But I have to put a face on. I can't hide. I don't hide from the world. I have to make myself look nice and do what I need to do. And I get on with it. And that's what BookTube's about. It's about being real. And if it's anything I can show you all, it's putting your face on even when you don't want to. Because sometimes we have to do it. But sometimes you'll see me on Instagram having a crap day and no makeup on, or in my PJs. I'd love to be in my PJs all the time, but I can't be. But yeah. But guys, I hope this video's helped. And don't worry, it won't be any more of these for a while. You never know. I try not to sort of do this kind of down ones, but smiley face me wanted to show you the real me, and I'll try and get the awareness out there. And I hope it's helped. If you guys need anything, please feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear about your opinions on this. If any of you want to private message me, go onto Instagram and I will always listen. I will always be your friend. I'll always try and do my best for all of you. If you like this video, even if it's been a bit depressing, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling, and I look forward to seeing you all soon with another happy video. Bye-bye.